Welcome to today's MJ News Digest, October 30, 2020. How are you doing? Here are today's headlines. Ghost, Watchalong, MJ home movies stolen, Omarion and Prince tour Hayvenhurst, Paris drops new singles, story behind Billie Jean, new Thriller Remixes, and Thriller tops new smooth radio chart. Wow, okay, so did you watch last night's Michael Jackson's Ghost Watchalong with Taj Jackson and Danny Oliver? It was absolutely brilliant, really entertaining. To begin with, there were some technical issues. They were hit with a copyright strike, but they came back better than ever and gave us over 3 hours of quality content, as well as the Watchalong. Taj also shared some memories of being on set of the film Ghosts and kind of watching how the film evolved over time, and Danny Oliver shared some really informative information and also some messages from some of the creative team behind it. I will be linking this watch along in the description, but here's a little bit of it now, and thanks for the shout out, Danny.
The production, bad, and how Michael also changed and enhanced and rearranged the production for the movie as well. It was just like another interpretation. It's kind of like, oh, well, I didn't do this one on the album, so now I get a chance to talk down there.
So our next story is from The Express, another positive Michael Jackson story from Callum Crumlish. Thank you, Callum. Michael Jackson star's private videos were held at ransom for six-figure sum. Michael Jackson was plagued with a harrowing set of circumstances when someone stole private videotapes of Jackson and his children, demanding a massive ransom. So this is a pro and sympathetic article, so thank you, Callum. Goes on to say that Michael did not have the easiest of lives. He was constantly hounded by the press and chased down streets on motorcycles, but had his photos taken in every public space he went, and his children were followed. Jackson was even given a cruel nickname, Wacko Jacko, and it was called all the way up to his death. Well, and beyond, Callum, but it's good to see national press or a tabloid pointing that out. But perhaps the most tragic of all circumstances befell Jackson in 1999 when his possessions were stolen. I'd argue that wasn't the most tragic of circumstances, but anyway. So according to a news story in October of 99, apparently a thief stole some private movies. These included videos of Jackson, his son Prince, his daughter Paris, and their trip to Euro Disney just outside Paris, France. According to MTV at the time, the thief was supposedly trying to sell the movies to tabloids for publication. I think they was trying to sell them for something like $100,000. Yeah, $100,000. But of course, I don't think any of the tabloids went with it. But anyway, thank you, Callum, for another positive Michael Jackson story. Our next story is from Billboard.com. Omarion teams with Prince Jackson for Thriller Night album launch party from Michael Jackson estate. Get ready for an all-new killer Thriller night. On the eve of Halloween, Omarion will take us on a special trip for the launch of his new album, The Connection. The Grammy-nominated singer and rapper will present the LP with the release event beamed live from Michael Jackson's Hayvenhurst estate and hosted by the late King of Pop's son, Prince Jackson. Wow. During Thriller Nights, Omarion will perform stripped-down renditions of his songs and clips from The Connection. Also, viewers will get insights into the new album and enjoy a virtual tour through the areas of the estate where Omarion's hero lived and worked. It starts today at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's tonight via Omarion's YouTube page, and I'll be linking this in the description below. Here's a teaser.
Peace and blessings to all. I am Omarion.
And I'm Prince Jackson.
Come join us this Friday as we take you on an epic journey to one of my biggest inspirations, Michael Jackson's Hayvenhurst estate.
I'm going to show you guys around, show you some iconic areas, tell some personal stories.
And Paris has also been very busy. So Paris's new debut, or her solo debut single, has just dropped. Let Down. A really good song, and the video is absolutely stunning. Exactly what you'd expect from a member of the Jacksons. So this is from AP News. It says here that Jackson has been a devoted music fan all her life, and now she's making her own. It's one of the greatest feelings I've ever experienced, she says. There is an exclusive interview. I'll play a little bit of that in a moment. Paris describes her ethereal acoustic sound as alternative folk, a far cry from the genre of her father, Michael Jackson. Being the daughter of the King of Pop adds an extra layer of scrutiny to the vulnerability required to put personal songs out into the world. So here's a little clip of the interview, and I'll link this in the description.
I can't speak for him, but I hope he would be happy, and I think he would be stoked that I'm happy.
Our next story is from the American songwriter website Behind the Song Michael Jackson Billie Jean. It's a really interesting article. As fans, we know all of this information anyway, but it's just good to see a website focusing on Michael Jackson's artistry. So if you haven't already read this, I think it's been shared on social media, give it a click, give it a read. It's good to see something that's, as I said, focusing purely on Michael Jackson's artistry. So it's Behind the Song Billie Jean on American Songwriter. So there's 2 new Thriller remixes. The first one came from Your EDM. Just a Gent tributes Michael Jackson's Thriller with wicked funky flip. There he is. Just a Gent has transformed Michael Jackson's famous Thriller for 2020, and it's honestly one of the best things we've heard this Halloween season. Taking on such an iconic track is no easy task, but the Australian producer expertly blends the 80s smash with a wicked updated groove. The tribute is indisputably well done and masterfully executed. Thriller is alive and thriving once again. I'll link this in the description. Here's a little taste of it. What do you think? Nice, and the next one comes from Dancing Astronaut. Newcomer Gummy Bear drops off club-ready Thriller remix ahead of Halloween. Michael Jackson remixes don't come around often. Well, this is the second one today. If you're going to remix a King of Pop, you better come correct. Luckily, Newcomer Gummy Bear manages to do just that. It's a good remix. I prefer the first one, but I will link this in the description too. And this is from Smooth Radio, the 10 greatest and scariest Halloween songs of all time. Who's going to be number 1? Michael Jackson, Thriller, or Ghostbusters, Ray Parker Jr.? Well, you could tell by the headlines, but it's not the only Michael Jackson song in this chart. So number 4 is Ghostbusters. Number 3 is Rockwell with Somebody's Watching Me, of course, featuring Michael Jackson. Number 2 is the classic Monster Mash by Bobby Boris Pickett. And number 1, of course, is Thriller. Halloween is pointless without this spooky Michael Jackson anthem being blasted out the speakers. Amen to that. Probably the greatest music video of all time from one of the greatest entertainers. Correction, the greatest entertainer. Bonus points for convincing Vincent Price to rap. An honourable shout out to Ghosts. Nice one. Thank you, Smooth. So our YouTube recommendation of the day is, of course, the release of Michael Jackson's Ghosts on the Michael Jackson official YouTube channel. Now, just a few things before we get into this. The original title, it says here, Michael Jackson Ghosts. It's not, it should be Michael Jackson's Ghosts. Maybe I'm nitpicking, but the quality is very good. So it is in HD. Some of the fans on Twitter have been saying that the quality is awful. It's not in HD. Did I say 3D? I meant to say HD. But if you click on settings and then go on to quality, you can either have it on automatic or really low quality, or you can play it in HD, and it looks fantastic. It's about time we had this. As I said yesterday, or on the last MJ News Digest, this is for a limited run only. At the moment, or time of recording, there's over 600,000 views. It hasn't even been out for 24 hours. The comments are really good. Jade says, I think this is very symbolic. It seems like a metaphor of the press and the haters calling Michael freak, looking for something guilty in him. Although Michael Jackson didn't come back in our reality, he never died because he lives forever in our hearts. So I'm sure you've already watched this. Everyone has already watched this, but watch it again and again. Keep it streaming. Let's get those numbers up. I will play a very small part of this because I don't want to get a copyright strike.
Trying to scare me.
But I'll link that in the description. And don't forget, Danny Oliver has two shows coming up. The first one is today, Russell Gardens in London at the Rico Lounge, and also tomorrow at Harops Inn in Sheerness. And that's it for today's MJ News Digest. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment and subscribe because the best is yet to come.